Hello, everybody, and welcome to Turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. It's Monday night in the Cooked Landscape Group Cup Series. Comes to you live tonight from Indianapolis. Somebody's going to be kissing some bricks tonight. 65 laps around this historic Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And it's all going to start with Cody Harris up front, Josh Parker P2, David Schildhouse P3. He's looking to take his 9 wins and make it 10. Justin Fuller's looking to continue his charge. He's going to start in a decent spot in that 4th place position. Then it's Mark Jorgensen, Kevin DeBrow, Pedro Mojica, Stephen Miles, Tyler Dalton, Chad Coleman, your top 10. Joe Hudson, Doy Woods, David Comstock, Wesley Donaldson's on a decent run here as of late. He's going to start 14th. Patrick Colby, Thomas George, Robert Fanning Jr., the 3rd rather. Troy Haight, Jeff Hollingsworth, Anthony Calatoni round out your top 20. It's going to be a great night here. Nice and hot on the iRacing service. 87 degrees, air tip. That track temperature is also heating up. And these drivers are getting ready to go. Again, green flag racing here tonight. A quick programming note, next week we head on over to Iowa. It's going to be a great time there at Iowa with this group. So you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment. Do what you need to do to get connected to Turn 1. We'll see you from 7 days from tonight for Iowa for more Cup action. Hope everybody's having a solid week. Hope your weekend was great. We're going to kick it off. Hopefully kick off this good week with some good racing on track. The SIM500 group and the Cook Landscape Cup Series getting ready to go green. And there it is. The flag's out. Green flag. We're underway. Cody Harris gets them rolling. Down into 1 and 2. Up to speed. Josh Parker is going to leverage that outside momentum and take that top spot away. Drove around the outside of Cody Harris. As they come screaming down the backstretch for the first time, Justin Fuller is going to take that 2nd spot away. And then it's Harris. David Schildhouse is back here fighting. He was fast in practice, but right now, fighting on the outside of Jose Gonzalez. I'm sorry, that's not Jose Gonzalez. That's Schildhouse there in front of Pedro Mojica. Meanwhile, up front, Parker. He's out front by about an 8-car length lead as they come across the stripe here to take lap 1. And the caution's out on the racetrack, looking for where the incident lies. Looks like Eric Arnold has turned backwards there into turn number 1. So we can quickly take a look and find out what may have happened here, bringing out the caution. This started down the front stretch. Eric Arnold all by himself out there. Moved down to come inside, maybe a little bit of net code. Oof. And that's going to collect and make some left front damage for that car. And the 31 is going to bring the caution out for the first time here tonight. Again at Indianapolis for the Cook's Landscape Group Cup Series right here on turn 1. Josh Parker was out front, 8 car length or more lead out on Justin Fuller. He really did not want to see this caution come out. Tonight, it's going to be all about maintaining what you've got. We've seen how sensitive these cars are to aero, just like it was yesterday in the real Cup race. Track position is going to be key. Pit strategy. It's all going to be really, really, really critical to be successful here tonight at Indy. And I tell you what, one of the drivers that have been kicking off that pit strategy the best, that's Justin Fuller. Justin Fuller pulled off an incredible run at Darlington last week, and I tell you what, I'm really excited to see what he can do here tonight. Not exactly anywhere near the same type of racetrack, but the same type of mindset. Fast quarter entry, difficult. You got to get everything you can on corner off. There's a lot of opportunity here, but it's also really difficult to pass. Fuller right now sitting second, up 2 spots so far here tonight in the early going. Again, under caution for the first time tonight for the Cooks Landscape Group Cup Series right here on Turn 1. While I've got your attention, I would love to see some support over on YouTube and Facebook here tonight. If you're on YouTube and you've already subscribed, thank you. If you haven't, please head on over there and give us a little bit of click that subscribe button. Show us some love and some support. We want to make sure the iRacing folks out there know how really good the SIM500 show is, especially on the Monday Night Cup Series action here. So if you could, please give us a subscription over there. It'd be great. And also like the stream. If you're over, if you've any interest in Facebook or have a Facebook account, we'd also love to see you there as well. Turn 1 Broadcasting on Facebook. We would love to have that support there as well. Give us a follow. I think we're on the road to 500 followers on our Turn 1 Broadcasting Facebook page. And would love to see you over there. Pace car is going to take him at least one more time around here. We're going to step aside for just a moment. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off, and we're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here on lap number 6 at Indianapolis. That is Josh Parker sitting up front right now, able to drive forward on the start of the race and then maintain that spot when the caution came out. But Justin Fuller is just alongside of him, and he's going to be a contender of this. So then it's Cody Harris, David Schulthouse, and Kevin DeBrown, your top 5. These drivers seeing the green flag here. That is going to mark it 59 laps remaining here tonight. Josh Parker's going to send it down into the corner. Justin Fuller's going to follow right on the bumper. Harris is going to get clear. Shieldhouse, all of a sudden, our top 10 single filed out here at Indy. Again, we were talking about right before this caution came out how critical the track position's going to be. Well, there you see it, the draft playing a factor. Justin Fuller getting a big pull on Josh Parker. Cody Harris was coming along. He elected to duck back in line. Now Justin Fuller takes the lead here on lap number 6. That driver's had a heck of a run the last couple weeks in both ARCA and Cup. It's good to see Justin on the point. He's got a long way to go here at IMS. Weaving back and forth, trying to break that draft up just a little bit as Fuller. He just set a blistering lap time of a 53.91. That was an incredible lap time considering he was 0.3 faster than anybody in the top 10 that time by. Fuller is truly in his groove in this Cup Series car right now. We've seen him make things happen, make the tires last, and really pull off some strong finishes. This racetrack here at Indy is going to require you to drive careful, drive consistent, mind those front tires. And Fuller right now shows he is the class of the field to get that done. Looking back here at 6, that's Pedro Mojica, Mark Jorgensen Jr., Tyler Dalton, Chad Coleman, Stephen Miles, your top 10. Fighting back here, this is Wesley Donaldson and Patrick Colby side by side. As they come out of 2 tied on each other to each other's door, it's going to be a drag race down the backstretch. With Colby out front on that outside line, Wesley Donaldson's going to tuck in back behind him. Another battle right here in front of Tyler Dalton. That's Kevin DeBrown, Mark Jorgensen Jr. They get that cleaned up, back single file. Then we go back up front. Justin Fuller set another quick time here, a 53.95, but those 2 drivers behind him has picked up the pace. Josh Parker, a 52.92, and Cody Harris, a 53.02, so well within striking distance here early. We've got a couple cars battling it out pretty strongly here down the backstretch. That's a side-by-side battle right there. That's Stephen Miles getting underneath Coleman. He's going to make that move off into 3. Then another battle back here. That is Anthony Calatoni and Kevin DeBrown side-by-side. That's going to make its way all the way to the front stretch here. Calatoni able to shut the door on DeBrown for at least another straightaway as they head off into turn 1. Back out front. You're not missing anything much. That's Justin Fuller. Out front, 0.5 of a second. Running about equal lap times as Josh Parker sitting right behind him. Then it's Cody Harris, David Shieldhouse, and Pedro Mojica, your top 5. While we've got the opportunity, let's ride on board with a driver around this famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And let's do it with the 84 of Anthony Calatoni as he takes a lap around Indy. riding on board with the 84 California. You just hear how gentle and really calculated you've got to be on that throttle input. Here at Indy with Fuller continuing to lead. Now bringing that gap out to 0.7 of a second over Josh Parker. Pedro Mejica has moved himself up into the top 5. Mark Jorgensen Jr. sitting right behind him. Jorgensen's going to look to the inside rather as they come down the front stretch. Jorgensen's going to pull that pass off on the inside. One of the best passing zones here off into turn number 1. That is going to send Pedro Mejica back to P6. Stephen Miles is sitting 7th. It is Tyler Dalton, Chad Goldman, and David Comstock knocking on the door of the top 10 here in the early running of the Cooks Landscape Group Cup Series right here on turn 1. That's a SIM500 series. You want some more information about how you can join up with the rest of this crew? They have a full Cup schedule running all the way to the holidays. You can head on over to sim500.com for more information. Looking the rest of the way through the field, everybody's mostly single file spread out here. So we're going to pay close attention to how the comers and goers do. I expect we will see some of these drivers shift in and out of position now that they've got some green flag laps on their tires. Lap number 14, but remember they were under caution for about 3 laps there just a little while ago, so only about 10 or 11 total laps on these Goodyears. Something they're going to have to keep in mind, especially as the longer this green flag run goes. Lap times have not fallen off too bad. 52.75 was the best for our leader. Last time by was a 53.38. Let's see where he stands now that he's going to come across the stripe at 53.50. So almost, 0.8 of a second here after about a 12-lap green flag run. Josh Parker, he stepped out on the go pedal just a little bit. He's starting to close that gap. Once was a 7/10 of a second lead. Justin Fuller now fronting only just over 0.4. Oh, and that's going to bring the caution out. It looks like we've got, who is this back here spinning? That is Joe Hudson. Sideways on the exit of 2. The 49 car bringing the caution out. Looks like Joe may have had a little bit of an off-track moment as well, so he gets that car back rolling. We're going to take a quick look at the replay. Joe Hudson bringing the caution out here for the second time tonight. Right down into turn 1. I believe that's Woods back behind him. Just gets loose there, tries to save it. Pitches it to the right. Barely taps the left rear, but that right there shows you how important it is to be careful on that throttle entry. These cars, really any of the NASCAR style cars can be really sensitive to throttle input on that right rear, and Joe Hudson's paying the price here as we're under caution on lap number 16 of 65 for the Cooks Landscape Group Cup Series right here on turn 1. Justin Fuller leads. We're going to step aside. You're watching turn 1. would it be a SIM500 race without some pit strategy? That's right. Josh Parker, Cody Harris, Wesley Donaldson, Patrick Colby, EJ O'Rourke, and Bobby Wetzel elected to stay out while the rest of the field came down pit road for tires or fuel. One of the two or both. They have 3 sets of the pits tonight. Those drivers in the top 6 are hoping they're not going to make much of a difference here, as 3 rows of cars are going to separate Josh Parker against those new tires. The first driver to be down pit road and come out, well, it's David Schildhouse, the driver of the 20 car. Right now, sitting 7th on fresh Goodyears. How's this going to shake things up? We're going to find out. Josh Parker is going to see the green flag. Back in the restart zone, and we're back rolling at Indy. Parker free and clear. Cody Harris, Wesley Donaldson making a charge with Patrick Colby right there alongside. These two cannot get away from one another, but Donaldson looks like he's going to shut the door off of 2. Single file now is the top 5. As they roll off the corner, Schildhouse looking to make some room up forward, make some headway up forward. Now looking the inside of Donaldson. I'm sorry, that was Schildhouse looking on the inside of, I believe, Wetzel. We got cars sideways here. Somebody's in the grass. Who was that? Is that David Comstock? Oh, we've got another. He's going to lock it down. The 13 car sideways down the backstretch. You look like you may have had a little bit of help there. We're going to stay green, so we'll move back up front. It's Josh Parker continuing to lead, but Cody Harris is starting to close. Donaldson sitting 3rd right now. Patrick Colby, Bobby Wetzel, Schildhouse sitting 6th. Justin Fuller, EJ O'Rourke, Stephen Miles, and Pedro Mojica, your top 10. Parker weaving down these long straightaway down the backstretch here at Indianapolis, trying to break up a little bit of that draft that Cody Harris is able to leverage. As Bobby Wetzel's way out of shape, he's going to lose some spots. EJ O'Rourke now going to look underneath him. And then here comes Pedro Mojica as well. Really out of shape there. Wetzel's going to slide back tonight before getting it wound back up. But again, the first driver in the running order to come down pit roads, just breaking into the top 5. That's David Schildhouse. Running right in front of Justin Fuller. Both those drivers came down, but Schildhouse had the faster faster pit stop time, leading him to pick up some spots on the track. But right now, it is the Josh Parker show up front. Cody Harris and Wesley Donaldson, your top 3. Again, everybody singled out in the top 10. That's the 24. That's Stephen Miles looking around. EJ O'Rourke not going to be able to make it move just then, but Bobby Wetzel now is feeling the pressure. Here comes Pedro Mojica on the inside. He's going to get clear. Wetzel, since getting out of shape, just hasn't settled that car back in yet. Oh, he's going to make contact with the wall. That is actually going to require Jorgensen to slow up a little bit. He's got to check up to avoid making contact. Bobby Wetzel. As they come down this backstretch, you see a bunch of cars popping out, trying to gain a little bit of position. David Schildhouse is starting to his march forward. He was actually able to get around Patrick Colby, and he left Justin Fuller behind. Made that pass free and clear. He's going to come across a stripe here to take lap 23, and welcome to the top 4, David Schildhouse. Wesley Donaldson. Right now, this is a strong night for Wesley, and speaking of, he's had a really good run. He's jumped 3 spots in the standings over the last couple weeks. While winless, he's certainly showing consistency. A strong finish here tonight can move into a podium contention on the point standing wise. A long way to go, though. And Donaldson sitting third. Has not come down pit road just yet. Well, everybody behind him has, so just needs to hang on and let the tires cycle through. He's going to have that extra set. He's also going to have to think about fuel. Like getting 3 sets of tires in the pits for these drivers, but they're going to need the fuel just as much as they need the Goodyear rubber. And right now, though, Josh Parker starting to expand that lead out on Cody Harris. 0.7 of a second as they go off into one. Off into one, speaking of, that's Justin Fuller. Patrick Colby side by side. Fuller looking to the inside. He's going to be clear. He's going to shut the door now. He is going to step up the pace and start moving forward to chase down Shieldhouse, who is, by the way, has some pressure on Donaldson. Shieldhouse looks to the inside as he ventures off into turn number 3. Nothing doing just yet, but this reeks of Shieldhouse having a strong draft run down the front stretch. Can Donaldson hold him off? Off of 4 they go. Free and clear here. Shieldhouse about a car length back. Not a huge run at this point. He would have to have made it by now if he had it. He's going to settle in right behind Donaldson as they head right down to the bottom of the racetrack. That white line. And then all the way around 1 and 2. Shieldhouse not necessarily slower, but looking a little behind in pace there. Behind Donaldson, those new tires not paying off nearly as well as I think they thought they would. New tires have not really disrupted the top 5 or the top 4 that did not pit. And Wesley Donaldson is one of those drivers who has elected to stay out and reaping the benefits of the track position here. Side by side, that's Miles and Colby. Miles has been marching his way forward here tonight. But Patrick Colby tried to hang on to that spot, but Miles says, no, sir, that's mine. That's going to bring Miles up into the top 6. Josh Parker continues to lead. We talk about each and every week, I think, lately, how important clean air is for these cars as we see David Shieldhouse finally work down Wesley Donaldson and take that spot away. We talk about how difficult aero is on these cars and really more importantly, how great clean air is. As we see Pedro Mojica looking to the inside of Patrick Colby. Here comes Chad Coleman along for the opportunity as well. Those two are going to draft bumper to bumper all the way around here. Didn't quite get clear of Colby, but Coleman's going to be on the inside. He's going to drive it down just under that white line and clear him off of 1. But we've heard how critical aero is for this car. And right now it looks like Josh Parker is certainly settled in and really learning to appreciate that clean air up front. Taking a look a little further back here. Now that is Justin Fuller. He's on the march with David Shieldhouse just in front of him. Those two have working their way back up through the field after coming down pit road, lap number 16. He's going to squeeze by Donaldson. Donaldson's going to move back to 5th. Closing in on the halfway point here tonight for the SIM500 Monday Night Cup Series. The Cook's Landscape Group Cup Series right here on turn 1. It's going to be good to see how these drivers do long run. Those that have not come down pit road are certainly going to have to start thinking about it as we again approach the halfway point here tonight. Let's take a moment to ride on board, and let's do so with Stephen Miles. He's again on his way forward. Let's see how that 24 is riding tonight. On board here tonight, that was with Stephen Miles. He is up 2 spots tonight, running just behind Wesley Donaldson at 6th. Miles is a very consistent driver. I would say one of the smoother drivers here, the SIM500 group. A lot of talent out of that driver, the 24. Has his head on straight, I would like to say, and always in a decent mood, always just a pleasant personality to be around. And owns up when he makes mistakes. We've heard him admit multiple times, maybe he overdrove the car, gets into somebody at other racetracks, but right now, so he's definitely a solid driver in that 24 car. And hopefully we'll be talking to him again here soon on turn 1 as he finds himself a podium. And he's well on his way. Again, now he's up to 3 spots, just getting around Wesley Donaldson for that top 5 spot. Donaldson, remember, has not come down pit road just yet. He is in the likes of Josh Parker and Cody Harris. Those 2 drivers at the top, those 2 drivers right there, 1 and 2, have not come down pit road yet. Everybody else came down on lap 16, so they're quickly nearing the halfway point here tonight. Parker has been surprisingly able to maintain this lead and maintain this pace. He was fast during warm-ups, but did not have the qualifying effort I think he would have liked to have had started. He probably would like to have seen the pole there. But either way, has that car, that 81, on complete cruise control here tonight. Looking back through the field, you're not missing anything else except a little bit of racing back here, but not too much, and it's very inconsistent. That's Jeff Hollingsworth and Jimmy Coleman. Looking on the inside, Coleman going to try to take that spot away from Hollingsworth right down to the white line, but he has to check the car up. He gets tight, and Hollingsworth is going to drive away, and now Coleman's going to have some trouble. Mike Montesi trying to squeeze through there before the door shut, but Coleman able to get it done. That right there is a race back for 23rd. And a lot of these drivers have come down pit road already, but what another driver that hasn't is Patrick Colby. He is able to turn this strategy into a little bit of track position. He's up 3 spots, but he was up there in the top 5 before that, when that green flag came back out. Colby now sitting 11th, again, one of the first drivers that have not been down pit, or one of the last drivers not been down pit road just yet. Looking to run it out here as best as he possibly can. Keep in mind, these drivers only have 3 sets of tires in the pits, so you've got to make those last. And Colby right now is certainly thinking strategy and long-term success. What can he do maybe towards the end of this race that others may not be able to here at this Indianapolis Motor Speedway? Side by side through the corner, that's Jorgensen squeezing by there Wesley Donaldson. That's going to slide Donaldson back to 8th place as he continues to fall through the top 10. It's interesting, drivers like that as Coleman's going to look as they come down the front stretch. How drivers like Donaldson has slid back to 9th here now with that pass by Coleman. Whereas Josh Parker out front, just minding his P's and Q's, just on cruise control. Not pushing the car overly hard, but certainly seeing those lap times start to fall off a little bit steeper. Last time by a 53.81. That was about a second and a tenth faster, or slower rather, than his best lap time. And then just behind him is Cody Harris, and Cody running a 53.64, so almost 2 full tenths faster. You're starting to see David Shieldhouse come up into the picture as well. He's sitting 3rd right now, only 1.3 seconds back off our leader. And that is Justin Fuller and Stephen Miles, your top 5. Speaking of pit stops, Wesley Donaldson's coming down pit road. That is for tires in service. This is planned. He is going to have that extra set. He probably would have liked to have done this under caution, but Donaldson's going to come out with new tires and make up a little bit of ground here at IMS. Past halfway here tonight for the Cook's Landscape Group Cup Series right here on Turn 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. I appreciate you being here Monday night. Always a great call here with this Cup group for the SIM500 gang. We appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already done so, head on over to Facebook. Give them a follow. SIM500 on Facebook. You can also do the same for Turn 1. We'd love the support to get on the way to 500 followers on Facebook. Please do us a favor. Share our page. And we'd love to see you see the community continue to grow over here on the side of Turn 1. Josh Parker firmly in the lead. Cody Harris, David Shieldhouse, Justin Fuller, Stephen Miles, your top 5. We look back to the rest of the top 10 or so. Everybody's mostly spread out here. I suspect we will see these drivers that came down pit road lap 16. Well, they'll be down pit road probably around lap 48. So give or take 10 to 12 laps. They'll have to come down. But really, more importantly, these two drivers up front, they're going to have to come down as well. That's right, Josh Parker and Cody Harris. They're going to have to pit from the lead, and they're going to do it this lap. They had to call it. Even tire-wise, they looked pretty healthy. They were pretty fast, but they had to do it just on fuel alone. Those two down pit road. Maybe trying to one-stop the rest of this race. It is certainly possible. They're going to head down pit road, this long Indianapolis pit road, and get service done. Meanwhile, that is David Shieldhouse, the driver fastest during practice here. Fastest during practice here tonight. Looked really competitive, but didn't have the qualifying, or didn't have the pole speed when it came to qualifying. Right now, he is sitting now P1. We were talking about lap times, or tire fall off, and he's certainly one of those that is feeling that pressure here tonight. With those tires starting to slowly ebb away from him. And then Stephen Miles. Oh, he's going to come down pit road. This is an interesting strategy here. Miles is hitting pit road, but he's already been down once, and so is Brian Macklin. He's coming down pit road here. That's going to shake some things up. I think there's a little bit of pit strategy at play here. Some drivers think they can make it the rest of the way without coming down pit road. They can, theoretically, on fuel. Would be able to stay out and make it the rest of the way if this were to stay green. So interesting things coming about here at IMS. Shieldhouse working around a lapped car. I believe that was, who was that he just passed? Is that EJ O'Rourke? It was. O'Rourke came down lap 34, so he just come off pit road. But David Shieldhouse has got the throttle down. Justin Fuller sitting P2. Mojica, Jorgensen, and Coleman your top 5 now. We've got several cars down pit road. Paul Crumry. I'm sorry, that's Paul Crumry, rather. George Livingston's also on pit road. Looks like Brian Workman's making made his stop here, and Jeff Hollingsworth in the box. Again, green flag pit stops underway here at IMS. Shieldhouse looking very smooth out there, almost very similar to Josh Parker. Shieldhouse just has that car. No fuss, no drama, just getting around the racetrack pretty cleanly here. And right now, Shieldhouse leads the point standings by 33 points over Justin Fuller. Shieldhouse has 9 total wins on the season. So certainly, he's got an opportunity to bring home the championship here as we see Pedro Mojica, and it looks like Bentley Glazer coming down pit road for their tires and fuel. Back to Shieldhouse again. 9 total wins on the season right now. It's like 11 top 5. So a really strong finish here tonight. Can continue to expand that lead, but just in the mirror there is Justin Fuller. Again, that gap between those two, only 33 points. Since Justin Fuller back, that is certainly obtainable. Able to walk or able to capture those points in a race win. Fuller was able to bring home the ARCA championship after a strong run that he made the last couple weeks. So it's going to be good to see what these drivers could get done here at Indy. Doug Roth, he is hitting pit road, the driver of the 43. He's going to visit pit road for his tires and fuel, as this is going to continue to spread out our top 10, with Shieldhouse leading Fuller. Not making a ton of progress. That gap 0.4 of a second. And then it's Mark Jorgensen, Chad Coleman, Tyler Dalton, Patrick Colby, Billy Woods, Kevin DeBrown, Anthony Calatoni moving up to the 9th place spot during this pit sequence is Nelson Rivera. Your top 10. And speaking of Mr. Dalton, the driver of the 19, he's going to come down pit road. He gets that machine slowed up. And down this long Indianapolis Motor Speedway pit road, Patrick Colby. This driver's got some strategy at play here. He's not been down pit road yet at all during the race here, so I suspect we will need to see him anytime in the next 10, 5, 3, lap and a half, or something of that nature. But right now he's hanging on. He's in the 5th place spot. He fell back quite a bit when everything was out of sequence, and now he's just braking for a caution to come out so he can potentially save some track position. Otherwise, he's going to cycle out pretty far. He's going to elect to stay out. Justin Fuller, though, he's coming down pit road for service, pitting from 2nd place. Fuller down pit road as we look back out front. Shieldhouse now out front of Chad Coleman, 4 seconds plus, and in firm control of the lead here tonight at Indianapolis. Looking down the racetrack here, really nothing happening, at least at the very moment. Everybody's, again, mostly spread out. We see this type of racing out of this SIM500 group as Patrick Colby, I think, is going to head down pit road. He is for his first start. Mark Jorgensen is also going to come down. What a great run there out of the 28. This very well could turn into a decent investment of strategy for him. And then it's the 22 and Nelson Rivera. He's also going to hit pit road for his scheduled tires and service. So let's review really quickly here some of the drivers that have yet not to come down. Obviously, our leader, David Shieldhouse, came down lap 16. So I expect to see him here on the next 10 laps. No matter what, he's going to have to come down. He's not going to have enough fuel to make it all the way. Chad Coleman sitting P2, Doy Woods, Kevin DeBrown, Anthony Calatoni. Then it's Troy Haight, Jimmy Coleman, Randy Oakham, Jason Pick, and Kevin Stone, your top 10 as these pit stops continue to cycle out here in Indianapolis. Charles Woods, right now sitting on to the 11th place spot. He's up 24 positions. David Comstock, Thomas George, Joe Hudson, and Justin Fuller. Your top 15. Coleman's going to be down pit road. He's going to be joined by the 84 Calatoni, and then Jimmy Coleman also hitting pit road. More drivers starting to come down pit road for tires and service here. That's going to leave, it looks like about 14 remaining. So about a third of this field left to come down pit road here. And again, I expect this to be led by David Shieldhouse, but he needs another flawless execution down pit road. We've seen these cars get in the lead, and it looks, this clean air just looks so at such a high advantage. Shieldhouse took advantage of his pit stop, had a shorter time last time down pit road. He's needing to pull off another great pit stop to maintain this lead and keep that clean air on the nose of the 20 car. Looks like Jason Pick's going to come down pit road. The driver of the 53 is also going to be joined by Charles Woods. Those two coming down pit road for tires and fuel. Shieldhouse is starting to see some folks trying to drive around here. That looks like, that's Jorgensen and Patrick Colby. They're going to drive around, get their laps back. That again shows you just how powerful some of those tires can be. We saw them comfortably drive around Shieldhouse here and Shieldhouse is going to stay out at least another lap as we close in. And he's going to cross the stripe to take 19 laps to go here tonight for the Cooks Landscape Group Cup Series. Right here on Turn 1 Broadcasting. Let's ride on board with the 20 car. How much fuel is that driver saving? We're going to find out. On board with David Shieldhouse. What? That 20 car, I don't hear a whole lot of conservation mode, I guess is the best way to pull it out of Shieldhouse here, but he's out front in a commanding lead over a 9-second gap over Doy Woods. Keep in mind, though, pretty much everybody in the top 7 have not come down, so it's Woods to Brown, Haith, Yoakum, Comstock, and George, who has not come down pit road. And then it's Justin Fuller and Josh Parker. In theory, the 51 of Josh Parker would cycle out to be the leader. And right now he's got about a 1.6 second lead over over Josh Parker. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. But for that cycle out to happen, we're going to have to see this guy come down pit road. And I'm sure the children over on Twitch are giving him some great support here tonight. So if any of them are watching on YouTube or Facebook, please don't hesitate to say hello in the chat. And that's for everybody. We'd love to talk with you and interact. Who's your favorite pick to win tonight? Well, it's going to be interesting to see if you get this done here. Again, Shieldhouse has not come down pit road. Neither is Woods, DeBrown, Haight, Yoakum, Comstock, or George. So that's 7 drivers in the top 7 who have not come down and pit just yet, while David Shieldhouse continues to stay out here. And we are 15 laps to go tonight at Indy for the Cooks Landscape Group Cup Series right here on Turn 1. Looking back here, this Justin Fuller running 8th, then it's 9th of Josh Parker, then Cody Harris running 10th right now. Cody, I'm going to make this next statement, but it doesn't come from anything more than just a factual side of things. He has some top-tier speed in that car, but ultimately has shown to be the most aggressive on track over the last several races, some of the highest incident points. He's got something figured out. He's certainly stepped up the pace, and right now running 3rd, just behind Parker and Fuller here tonight. Or he will be running 3rd, currently running 10th, just behind Parker and Fuller. All the way down past that white line here at Indy, and then it's Doy Woods back here. He's got a little bit of a battle on his head. That's Kevin DeBrown Kevin DeBrown, that's a lap car back behind him. And Woods is trying to hold everybody back just a little bit. Meanwhile, Troy Haight is the next car for position sitting fourth. And then it's Randy Yoakum. And everybody just kind of minding their P's and Q's here. Last time by, Schildhaus ran a 53.81. He's got the wick turned up on that car. That is impressive. It seems like these tires fall off about a second, and then you just hang on to them. And right now, David Schildhaus is on a tear as he's going to come across the stripe here. 13 laps remaining. Oh, we've got a car in the grass. That's David Comstock. That car was sideways. Looks like he's got a bit of damage on the nose of that car. Comstock. Oh, and he comes up the racetrack, nearly collects. Cody Harris, I don't know what that was about. He's holding it down now on the pit road. I think, yeah, it looks like that right front's pretty tore up. Maybe that's he wasn't able to hold it quite down on the bottom of the corner the way he would have liked. Off of turn number 4, and Schildhaus is going to stay out another lap. Something tells me Schildhaus has got a little secret in his pocket. Has he been saving a little bit here? Last time by, slowed down significantly. A 54.12 out of David Schildhaus. Meanwhile, Justin Fuller, 35 seconds back, would be the leader if the rest of these cars out front had pit or will pit. Fuller right now settled into 7th. His last time by a 53.65. So about 5/10 faster than our leader, but 5/10 is not going to really do it for you here, especially with just 12 laps to go and a 35-second gap to make up out on our leader. Little bit of a battle back here. That's Josh Parker, Cody Harris mixing it up there around that lap car. Both of them are going to be able to get clear. Josh Parker settled it in. He's about 1.9 seconds now back to Fuller. I think a lot of these drivers are questioning some decisions at this point. This, ultimately, if this stays the way it is and Schildhaus does not come down pit road, this would have been a, oh goodness, last lap 16. We're going to go 65. He's going to go, what, 55, 54 total laps on green flag conditions? Or, 54 laps on fuel. Maybe those cautions just saving just enough for Schildhaus. Again, another slower lap on 54.15. Backing that 20 car up quite a bit. And then it's Kevin DeBrown, Billy Woods, Troy Haight, Randy Yoakum, your top 5. Thomas George, Justin Fuller, Josh Parker, Cody Harris, and Stephen Miles, your top 10 here. As we close in on 10 to go, or we are there, less than 10 to go now here on turn 1. This is the Cooks Landscape Group Cup Series. Brought to you by SIM500 here on Monday night. Then, like I mentioned earlier in the race, they're going to head off to the Midwest. Oh, we got pit stops happening. David Schildhaus is going to surrender the lead under the green flag conditions. This is going to shake some stuff up. David Schildhaus comes down pit road. It's Kevin DeBrown. He's also going to come down. Those two drivers most likely were hoping for that caution in the last minute. Troy Haight's also going to come down. And this is going to be pretty much a really rough end to their night unless Schildhaus can make 2 tires work. We'll pay close attention to this stop. He gets it checked into the box. A little bit of fuel. No tires for David Schildhaus? No! No tires for Schildhaus. Just a splash of gas. And he's off pit road. Needs a flawless quarter exit here. or pit exit for this to pay off. He's going to swing it out wide. Drive it in pretty deep here into turn 2. Where is he going to cycle out? It's going to be 7th. Meanwhile, we go back up front. Doy Woods is going to pit from the lead. That is going to cycle things around to Justin Fuller, the driver of the 51. Looking to expand. Or looking, well, let's put it this way. Looking to add his total number of wins for the Cup Series right now. And he's only got to hold on for 8 more laps. Parker, Harris, Miles, and Pedro Mojica now your top 5. David Schildhouse, this is going to slide up to 6th. Again, no tires on that car. That was a fuel-only stop for the 20 of David Schildhouse. We're going to step aside here for just a second. Get caught up. And then get ready to call the last 4 to 5 laps of this Indianapolis Motor Speedway race here on turn 1. It's the Cooks Landscape Group Cup Series. Right here on turn 1. We'll be right back. The driver of the 51, last down pit road, lap 42. He should have enough fuel to make it all the way to the very end here tonight, as he's going to come across the stripe, and that's going to be the 5 to go signal for Justin Fuller. Looking to make his mark on the point standings. David Schildhouse, our point sitter right now, and sitting 33 points of Justin Fuller, sitting P2. Is currently running 6th after that down after that pit stop. Not a bad way to end the night here for Schildhouse if he can hang on to that 6th place spot. But Justin Fuller is certainly going to gain some momentum here, leading towards the end of this, leading some laps and ultimately bringing home the win. Justin Fuller, if he could get it done, close that gap on the 20 of David Schildhouse as we get ready to head off into what I would consider the late summer. Only just about 3 full months left of Cup racing here. That's going to be catch it all right here on turn 1. 4 to go here at Indy. Steven Miles settling into a top 5 position. That's another good run for Miles, and then Pedro Mojica sitting 5th at the moment. David Schildhouse, Chad Coleman, Wesley Donaldson, Brian Macklin, and Mark Jorgensen Jr. in your top 10. Then it's Tyler Tolley, Patrick Colby, Kevin DeBrown, Doy Woods, Bentley Glaser, your top 15. Anthony Calatoni came down pit road lap 44, but not able to turn that into a opportunity like he would like, currently sitting 16th here tonight at Indy in the final laps. Fuller's going to come across the stripe at C3 to go. He's got no pressure out back per se. Josh Parker has certainly closed that gap up just a little bit. At one point, this was a 1.6 second lead for Fuller. Parker has got the heat turned on just a little bit. Last time by 0.2 faster than our leader, but that's not going to cut it. He's not going to have enough time at those gains. As Fuller's going to try to leverage a lap down car. Who is that? Maybe Brian Wortman, I believe, out there. Either way, leveraging that lap down car for a little bit of draft down the backstretch. Fuller's just trying to hang on to it, wants to break up that draft behind him. That gap now down to 0.6 of a second as he comes down the front stretch. Let's see what Parker can do here as they come down the front stretch to see the 2 to go for the Cook's Landscape Group Cup Series right here on turn 1. And David Schildhouse now moves back to 7th. Chad Coleman able to squeeze around him. Looking back to the rest of the field, that push and that little bit of gap we saw made up by Parker lost here in turn 1 and 2. That gap now back down to 0.7. A little bit of Justin Fuller trying to break the draft on Parker and was able to get it done as they're going to move down into 3 and 4. Justin Fuller just needs to see one more clean lap here in Indianapolis. The white flag is out one more time around for the SIM500 Cup Series. Looking through the rest of the field, everybody's pretty settled in. I don't suspect we'll see much more activity. Let's take a look here up front. Josh Parker, if he's going to go, he's got to go now. Not going to be able to pick up 0.6 though on the last lap. He's going to close that gap. He's going to try to a little bit at least, leveraging the draft at a great turn 2 exit down to 0.5. Down into the short chute here in 3 and 4. That gap he made up is gone again. What a tear. Justin Fuller. This is going to take his win streak and add another one to it. Justin Fuller is your winner here tonight in Indianapolis. Josh Parker is going to finish 2nd. Cody Harris finished 3rd. Steven Biles and Pedro Mojica, your top 5. What a run here for tonight for the SIM500 crew. And I'm really, really excited to have had the opportunity to call this race. We're going to step aside for just a moment, and we'll talk to Justin Fuller, Josh Parker, and Cody Harris about their race tonight here during some post-race coverage. You're watching Turn 1. tonight. And Josh, congratulations on that finish. Talk to me about the night. It looked like that car was pretty sporty and quick. What were you missing there at the very end?
Yeah, it was fun. There was nothing I was missing. I just got outbeat by pit strategy there. It was Justin. You give credit when credit is due. He did that pit strategy absolutely perfect. I think a lap or two later, I would have beat him out, and the 4 tires would have prevailed over his 2. But even if I had probably 5, I needed probably another 20 laps to pass him to even be able to set it up. I don't think it was that much of a difference. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good race. I thought I was early in position to win, and then I saw Justin come out in front by a 1.5 seconds, and I was like, man, what the hell? And then I realized he took 2. So kind of sucks, but I had fun.
Josh, we've heard just how sensitive these cars are to aero over the last couple months, and it's prevailed. And it almost like that was a very similar story here tonight. Tires didn't seem like to be as much of a factor. Tire fall-up was there, but it kind of stopped after about a second or so. What was the aero like, and how difficult was it in dirty air to work around, folks?
I can't remember the last time I qualified. So I'll put that in perspective. When I qualified today, it was bad. I didn't get to run any of these A-Fix races because I am downgraded to a B, and that's where I stand there. But anyway, I ran some B-Fix races, and aero was bad there too. So I learned from that, and I took a gamble staying out there on that first long run. After that first long run, we had a little yellow after like 15 laps, and I stayed out, and I was very surprised that play worked out. So. Something to think about in the future. It's bad. The aero hides 15-20 lap tires, so yeah, it's not fun.
Well, Josh, listen, ultimately able to prevail here, bring home a P2 at Indianapolis. Not the finish I'm sure you're looking for, but certainly the one you'll take, and hopefully we get to talk to you again here real soon. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing the broadcast. It was a great race. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. And with that, we'll talk to race winner Justin Fuller. Justin, I don't even know where to start. I think I talked to you just as much as I talked to my wife. You're on a really strong run. Tell me what you figured out in this next-gen car that's got you really, really running some strong performances here.
I just think I'm adapting to the update of the car faster than some others. They'll catch up, no doubt about it. But at the same time, I got the pole last week. That helped. You just had to get clean air. That's all it is, really. And it's so hard to pass now with the aero model. And I already hated this car and didn't like racing it enough. And I mean, I know I'm winning, but I still hate it. And it's not fun when you can just aero dump somebody and they can't get to you. So I don't know. The summertime so far has been the right time for sure. We're making a run at the overall regular season championship too, so we're on a roll. We just got to keep it going.
Yeah, Justin, we heard Josh talk about just how just terrible the aero is here, and it makes it really difficult. At times, it can hide tires that are 15 or 20 laps older than, say, yours. How was that from your perspective? Obviously, that clean air mattered here tonight, but we saw you back there in that traffic around 6th, 7th, and 8th before that pit cycled out, or that pit stop cycled out. What was your experience back there towards the rear of the field?
Dirty air is terrible. It was so hard. I mean, I knew 2 tires would be an option. If it was like a late race thing, I don't know if you know, I took tires when I pitted under green, so I did not think it was going to work in that situation, but it did. So, but when we went green after we all pitted and a handful of those guys stayed out, I was not anticipating those guys being able to hang on like they were, and I was like, man, right. I mean, the aero just means so much more than the tires. So, I kind of had an assumption of how many tires Josh took. I don't think he could have ever gone the whole distance on the left. So, I pretty much knew he took 4. I just had to time it right. I had to make sure I pitted before David. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't get overcut by Josh, because if he got in front of me, I never would have got back by him. So I timed it perfectly. I had a 1.2 second when I came out in front of him, and that's all she wrote, really.
Justin, listen, what a remarkable run you had over the last couple of weeks, both here in the ARCA car. We appreciate the time tonight, and hey, we may be talking to you again here next week. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Sean. Have a good one.
Thanks, Justin. And with that, we will also speak with third place of Cody Harris. Cody, congratulations on a third place finish here tonight. This has got to feel pretty good to have a solid top 3 at Indianapolis. We hear the arrow was really tough here tonight. I moved into the wrong channel there, Cody. I apologize about that. Congratulations on the top 3 here at Indy. Talk to me about your night. Obviously, you were pretty quick, qualified towards the front. What did you need there to maybe finish a couple spots higher?
Not lose control of the race on the start. I was pretty mad the whole race, to be honest. Just didn't get a great start and let 2 guys get around me, and then with the way the arrow is, it's almost impossible to pass. So if I'd done a better job there, it might have been better. But then it got interesting with the strategy, so it's hard to tell how that would have turned out anyway with that caution around lap 15 or 16. So tires weren't worth a whole lot, but just a little bit. So not sure. I mean, third is still good. Just a little frustrated I didn't do a better job at the start.
So we got to ask, Cody, we saw that as well and lost a little bit of time there. What happened on that start, and ultimately do you feel like you would have been up front there had it not been for that misstep?
Yeah, I think so. Just a little bit late getting to the gas once the green flag came out, and I think they were rolling on the top a little bit, and I think they were pushing each other a little bit, which helped. Since the 2 outside guys got around me. So.
Well, Cody, listen, congratulations. It was a top 3 at a difficult track, and a difficult car. I believe next week we head to Iowa, I believe. A completely different type of racetrack. Talk to me about your thoughts there. How do you think this car is going to behave? Do you have anything for him at a much shorter, much different racetrack?
Yeah, I like Iowa. I've got a lot of laps there in several different cars. I enjoy this. I'm starting to get a grip with this tire model, I think, since the update. Yeah, just looking forward to it. And I think there's some other good tracks for me coming up, so looking forward to the next several races.
Well, listen, Cody, thank you for the time tonight. Congratulations on that top 3, and I hope we get to talk to you again here soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Cody. And with that, we're going to wrap up race coverage here tonight. Another win in the books for Justin Fuller in the 51. We're going to head on over tomorrow night to the Downforce Racing Series. We got 2 races left with that group, so you're not going to want to miss out. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, do what you need to do to get connected to Turn 1 for all the racing action. We're with SIM500 all the way down the stretch, and then we are looking for new opportunities on Tuesdays and Tuesday nights, and then we pick up OSR. They come back in 2 short weeks, so that'll be a great time to pick back up on Thursday night racing action. On behalf of the league admins, I'm Sean Vince. I appreciate you being here. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye, everybody.